Law 1. Never outshine the master. This is a hard truth about power most people learn too late. Your first instinct might be to show off your skills, but you must resist. Always make those above you feel comfortably, unshakably superior. In your desire to please and impress them, never go too far in displaying your talents, or you will achieve the exact opposite. You won't inspire admiration. You'll inspire fear and deep insecurity. Think about it. A master doesn't want a brilliant apprentice. They want a brilliant servant. Your job is to make them appear more magnificent than they are, even attributing your own clever ideas to their guidance. Master this delicate dance, and you will ascend to the heights of power. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. This might be the most controversial law, but it's one of the most critical. Be incredibly wary of friends. They are the ones who will betray you most swiftly, for they are easily consumed by envy. Who knows your weaknesses better than your closest friend? They also tend to become spoiled and tyrannical, expecting favors as a right. But if you hire a former enemy, they will be more loyal than any friend, because they have everything to prove and are hungry for a chance at redemption. In fact, you have far more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you currently have no enemies, you must find a way to make them. They are a resource you cannot afford to be without. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. In the grand theater of power, predictability is a death sentence. You must keep people off balance and shrouded in darkness by never revealing the true purpose behind your actions. If they have no clue what your real endgame is, they cannot possibly prepare a defense. This isn't just about lying. It's about creating a smokescreen. Guide them far enough down the wrong path with decoys and red herrings. Let them think they're playing checkers while you're playing a game they can't even see. Envelop them in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your true intentions, the checkmate will already be a foregone conclusion. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. Silence is a weapon. Are you using it effectively? When you are trying to impress people with words, remember this. The more you say, the more common you appear, and the less in control you seem. Saying less forces others to fill the silence, often revealing their own intentions and weaknesses in the process. Even if you're stating something banal, it will seem profound if you make it vague, open-ended, and sphinx-like. Powerful people impress and intimidate by their economy of words. Every word you don't say is a potential mistake you've brilliantly avoided. Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Your reputation is not just a part of the game, it is the game. It is the very cornerstone of power. Through reputation alone, you can intimidate, win all eyes, and strike fear into your opponents without lifting a finger. However, once it slips, you become critically vulnerable and will be attacked from all sides. You must build your reputation into an unassailable fortress. Be constantly alert to potential attacks and neutralize them before they happen. At the same time, learn to dismantle your enemies by opening gaping holes in their own reputations. Then simply stand aside and let the court of public opinion hang them for you. Law 6. Court attention at all cost. Here's a brutal reality. What is unseen counts for nothing. Everything and everyone is judged by its appearance. You cannot afford to be lost in the crowd or buried in oblivion. You must stand out. Be conspicuous, whatever it takes. Make yourself a magnet of attention by appearing larger, more colorful, and infinitely more mysterious than the bland and timid masses. Whether the attention is positive or negative is secondary. The worst fate is to be ignored. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Use the wisdom, knowledge, and sheer legwork of other people to further your own cause. Why hunt for prey yourself when you have lions you can command? Not only will such assistance save you invaluable time and energy, but it will also bestow upon you a godlike aura of efficiency and speed. In the end, your helpers will be forgotten, their efforts a footnote in your story, and you will be remembered as the genius. Never do yourself what others can do for you. This is the art of delegation for power, not for fairness. Law 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. When you force the other person to react, you are the one dictating the terms. You are in control. It is always better to make your opponent come to you, forcing them to abandon their own precious plans in the process. How do you do this? Lure them with the promise of fabulous gains, or play on their deepest fears. Once they step into your territory, you spring the trap. You hold all the cards, and they are playing a game they didn't even know they were in. Law 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. Any momentary triumph you think you've gained through argument is, in reality, a Pyrrhic victory. The resentment and ill will you stir up are far stronger and last infinitely longer than any temporary change of opinion. It is much more powerful to get others to agree with you through your actions, without saying a single word. Demonstrate your point, don't explicate it. Let them see the proof, and they will come to your conclusion on their own, believing it was their idea all along. Law 10. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. You can literally die from someone else's misery. Emotional states are as infectious as diseases, and some people are walking plagues of misfortune. You may feel you are helping the drowning man, but you are only precipitating your own disaster. The unfortunate often draw misfortune on themselves through their own destructive patterns, and they will absolutely draw it on you. Cut these people out of your life without a second thought. Associate only with the happy and the fortunate instead. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. To maintain your independence, you must be needed and wanted. This is the paradox of power. The more you are relied on, the more freedom you truly have. Make people depend on you for their happiness, their prosperity, their very sense of purpose, and you will have nothing to fear. They cannot afford to get rid of you. The key is to never teach them enough so that they can do without you. Always hold back a crucial piece of the puzzle. Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. One sincere and honest move will cover over dozens of dishonest ones. Think of it as a strategic weapon. Open-hearted gestures of honesty and generosity bring down the guard of even the most suspicious people. It's a Trojan horse. Once your selective honesty opens a hole in their armor, you can deceive and manipulate them at will. A timely gift, a feigned moment of vulnerability, these are the tools that will make them your unwitting pawns. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. If you need to turn to an ally for help, do not waste your breath reminding him of your past assistance and good deeds. He will find a way to ignore you or see it as an annoying obligation. Instead, uncover something in your request or in your alliance with him that will benefit him immensely, and emphasize it out of all proportion. He will respond with enthusiastic energy when he sees something to be gained for himself. People are not moved by the past, but by the promise of future gain. Law 14. Pose as a friend. Work as a spy. Knowing about your rival is critical. It's the difference between victory and defeat. Use spies to gather valuable information that will keep you a step ahead. But better still, play the spy yourself. In polite social encounters, learn to probe. Ask indirect questions designed to get people to reveal their weaknesses, their desires, and their intentions. There is no occasion that is not an opportunity for artful, undetectable spying. Every conversation is an intelligence-gathering mission. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. This is not a suggestion. It is a command. All great leaders since Moses have known that a feared enemy must be crushed completely. If one ember is left alight, no matter how dimly it smolders, a fire will eventually break out. You lose more through stopping halfway than through total annihilation. Why? Because the enemy will recover, and they will seek a bitter revenge. You must crush him not only in body, but in spirit. Erase him from the board so he can never threaten you again. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Too much circulation makes the price go down. This is true for goods and for people. The more you are seen and heard from, the more common you appear. If you are already established in a group, a temporary withdrawal from it will make you more talked about, even more admired. They will wonder where you are and what you are doing. You must learn when to leave. Master this, and you will create value through scarcity. Law 17. Keep others in suspense. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Humans are creatures of habit with an insatiable need to see familiarity in other people's actions. Your predictability gives them a sense of control. Turn the tables. Be deliberately unpredictable. Behavior that seems to have no consistency or purpose will keep them off balance, and they will wear themselves out trying to explain your moves. What they can't understand, they can't predict, and what they can't predict, they fear. Taken to an extreme, this strategy can intimidate and terrorize. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. The world is dangerous, and enemies are everywhere. Everyone has to protect themselves. A fortress seems the safest, but isolation exposes you to more dangers than it protects you from. It cuts you off from valuable information, gossip, and alliances. It makes you conspicuous and an easy target. It's far better to circulate among people, find allies, and mingle. You are shielded from your enemies by the crowd itself. Hide in plain sight. Law 19. Know who you are dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. This is a crucial mistake that can ruin you overnight. There are many different kinds of people in the world, and you can never assume that everyone will react to your strategies in the same way. Deceive or outmaneuver some people, and they will spend the rest of their lives seeking revenge. They are wolves in lamb's clothing. Choose your victims and opponents carefully. Never offend or deceive the wrong person, because the fallout can be catastrophic and unending. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. It is the fool who always rushes to take sides. Do not commit to any side or cause but yourself. By maintaining your independence, you become the master of others. You can play people against one another, making them pursue you, compete for your favor. When they are fighting amongst themselves, you hold the true power. Committing to a side limits your options. Staying above the fray gives you infinite possibilities. Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. No one likes feeling stupider than the next person. In fact, it's one of the greatest insults to their ego. The trick, then, is to make your victims feel smart, and not just smart, but smarter than you are. Once they are convinced of their intellectual superiority, they will never suspect that you may have ulterior motives. Their arrogance becomes a veil that blinds them to your true intentions. Law 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. When you are the weaker party, never fight for honor's sake. That is a fool's errand that leads only to defeat. Choose surrender instead. Surrender buys you time to recover, time to plot, and time to wait for your enemy's power to wane. Do not give them the satisfaction of victory in battle. By turning the other cheek, you infuriate and unnerve them. Make surrender an offensive weapon. Law 23. Concentrate your forces. Conserve your forces and energies by keeping them concentrated at their strongest point. You gain more by finding one rich gold mine and mining it deeper and deeper than by flitting from one shallow mine to another. Intensity defeats extensity every single time. When looking for sources of power to elevate you, find the one key patron, the one powerful ally, who will give you support for a long time to come. Don't spread your bets. Make one big one. Law 24. Play the perfect courtier. The perfect courtier thrives in a world where everything revolves around power and political dexterity. He has mastered the art of indirection. He flatters, yields to superiors, and asserts power over others in the most oblique and graceful manner. He is a master of appearances. Learn and apply the laws of courtiership. Be indirect, adapt, never be the bearer of bad news, and there will be no limit to how far you can rise in any hierarchical structure. Law 25. Recreate yourself. Do not accept the roles that society foists on you. Recreate yourself by forging a new identity, one that commands attention and never bores the audience. You must be the master of your own image, rather than letting others define it for you. This is about more than just appearance. It's about crafting a persona. Incorporate dramatic devices into your public gestures and actions. Your power will be enhanced and your character will seem larger than life. Law 26. Keep your hands clean. You must seem a paragon of civility and efficiency. Your hands are never soiled by mistakes and nasty deeds. How is this possible? By maintaining such a spotless appearance through the use of others as unwitting pawns and scapegoats. Let them be the screen that disguises your involvement. When things go right, the credit is yours. When they go wrong, the blame is theirs. Your reputation remains pristine. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. People have an overwhelming, desperate desire to believe in something. You can become the focal point of that desire by offering them a cause, a new faith to follow. The key is to keep your words vague but full of promise. Emphasize enthusiasm over rationality and clear thinking. Give your new disciples rituals to perform and ask them to make sacrifices on your behalf. In the absence of organized religion and grand causes, your new belief system will bring you untold, almost terrifying, power. Law 28. Enter action with boldness. If you are unsure of a course of action, do not attempt it. Your doubts and hesitations will infect your execution and signal weakness to others. Timidity is dangerous. Boldness is magnetic. It's better to enter with audacity. Any mistakes you commit through boldness are easily corrected with more boldness. Everyone admires the bold. No one honors the timid. Hesitation creates gaps. Boldness closes them. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. The ending is everything. Don't just plan the opening move. Plan the entire game. Take into account all possible consequences, obstacles, and twists of fortune that might reverse your hard work and give the glory to others. By planning to the end, you will not be overwhelmed by circumstances, and you will know precisely when to stop. Gently guide fortune and help determine the future by thinking far, far ahead of everyone else. Asterisk Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Your actions must seem natural and executed with sublime ease. All the toil, the practice, and the clever tricks that go into them must be concealed. When you act, act effortlessly, as if you could do much more. Avoid the temptation of revealing how hard you work. It only raises questions and makes your talent seem less magical. And under no circumstances should you teach anyone your tricks, or they will certainly be used against you. Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. The best deceptions are the ones that seem to give the other person a choice. Your victims feel they are in control, but they are actually your puppets. The trick is to give people options that come out in your favor, whichever one they choose. Force them to make choices between the lesser of two evils, both of which serve your purpose. Put them on the horns of a dilemma. They are gored wherever they turn, and you win either way. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. The truth is often avoided because it is ugly and unpleasant. Never appeal to truth and reality unless you are prepared for the anger that comes from disenchantment. Life is so harsh and distressing that people who can manufacture romance or conjure up fantasy are like oases in the desert. Everyone flocks to them. There is great power in tapping into the fantasies of the masses. Sell them a dream, not a reality. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has a weakness, a gap in their castle wall. That weakness is usually an insecurity, an uncontrollable emotion or need. It can also be a small secret pleasure or a deep-seated fear. Either way, once found, it is a thumbscrew. It is a point of leverage you can turn to your advantage, making them bend to your will. Find that weakness, and you have found the key to controlling them. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. The way you carry yourself will often determine how you are treated. In the long run, appearing vulgar or common will make people disrespect you. For a king respects himself and inspires the same sentiment in others. By acting regally and confident of your powers, even before you have them, you make yourself seem destined to wear a crown. Project the power you wish to have. Law 35. Master the art of timing. Never seem to be in a hurry. Hurrying betrays a lack of control over yourself and over time. Always seem patient, as if you know that everything will come to you eventually. Become a detective of the right moment. Sniff out the spirit of the times, the trends that will carry you to power. Learn to stand back when the time is not yet ripe, and to strike with decisive fierceness when it has reached fruition. Timing is everything. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. By acknowledging a petty problem or an enemy, you give it existence and credibility. The more attention you pay an enemy, the stronger you make him. A small mistake is often made worse and more visible when you try to fix it. It is sometimes best to leave things alone. If there is something you want but cannot have, show utter contempt for it. The less interest you reveal, the more superior you seem. Your indifference is a demonstration of power. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. Striking imagery and grand symbolic gestures create the aura of power. Everyone responds to them. Stage spectacles for those around you, full of arresting visuals and radiant symbols that heighten your presence. Dazzled by appearances, distracted by the show, no one will notice what you are really doing behind the curtain. The spectacle becomes a powerful diversion. Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. If you make a show of going against the times, flaunting your unconventional ideas and unorthodox ways, people will think that you only want attention and that you look down upon them. They will find a way to punish you for making them feel inferior. It is far safer to blend in and nurture the common touch. Share your originality only with tolerant friends and those who are sure to appreciate your uniqueness. Don't waste your unique thoughts on a hostile audience. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. Anger and emotion are strategically counterproductive. You must always stay calm and objective. That is your shield. But if you can make your enemies angry while staying calm yourself, you gain a decided advantage. Put your enemies off balance. Find the chink in their vanity through which you can rattle them, and you hold the strings to their emotional puppet show. An angry man makes mistakes. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. What is offered for free is dangerous. It usually involves either a trick or a hidden obligation. What has worth is worth paying for. By paying your own way, you stay clear of gratitude, guilt, and deceit. It is also often wise to pay the full price. There is no cutting corners with excellence. Be lavish with your money and keep it circulating, for generosity is a sign and a powerful magnet for power. It shows you are above petty concerns. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. What happens first always appears better and more original than what comes after. If you succeed a great man or have a famous parent, you will have to accomplish double their achievements to outshine them. Do not get lost in their shadow or stuck in a past not of your own making. You must establish your own name and identity by changing course. Slay the overbearing father, disparage his legacy, and gain power by shining in your own distinct way. Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Trouble, dissent, and negativity can often be traced to a single strong individual. The stirrer, the arrogant underling, the poisoner of goodwill. If you allow such people room to operate, others will succumb to their influence. Do not wait for the troubles they cause to multiply. Do not try to negotiate with them. They are irredeemable. Neutralize their influence by isolating or banishing them. Strike at the source of the trouble, and the sheep will scatter. Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Coercion creates a reaction that will eventually work against you. It breeds resentment. You must seduce others into wanting to move in your direction. A person you have seduced becomes your loyal pawn, acting out of their own desire. And the way to seduce others is to operate on their individual psychologies and weaknesses. Soften up the resistant by working on their emotions, playing on what they hold dear and what they fear. Ignore the hearts and minds of others, and they will grow to hate you. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. The mirror reflects reality, but it is also the perfect tool for deception. When you mirror your enemies, doing exactly as they do, they cannot figure out your strategy. The mirror effect mocks and humiliates them, making them overreact and reveal their hand. By holding up a mirror to their psyches, you seduce them with the illusion that you share their values. By holding up a mirror to their actions, you teach them a lesson. Few can resist the psychological power of the mirror effect. Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. Everyone understands the need for change in the abstract, but on the day-to-day level, people are creatures of habit. Too much innovation is traumatic and will lead to revolt. If you are new to a position of power or an outsider trying to build a power base, make a show of respecting the old way of doing things. If change is necessary, make it feel like a gentle, logical improvement on the past, not a radical break from it. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. Appearing better than others is always dangerous, but most dangerous of all is to appear to have no faults or weaknesses. This doesn't make you admirable. It makes you inhuman and hated. Envy creates silent enemies. It is smart to occasionally display defects and admit to harmless vices in order to deflect envy and appear more human and approachable. Let them feel superior to you in some small way. Only gods and the dead can seem perfect with impunity. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. The moment of victory is often the moment of greatest peril. In the heat of victory, arrogance and overconfidence can push you past the goal you had aimed for. By going too far, you make more enemies than you defeat and create new problems. Do not allow success to go to your head. There is no substitute for strategy and careful planning. Set a goal, and when you reach it, stop. Consolidate your gains. Law 48. Assume formlessness. By taking a shape, by having a visible plan, you open yourself to attack. Instead of taking a form for your enemy to grasp, keep yourself adaptable and on the move. Accept the fact that nothing is certain and no law is fixed. The best way to protect yourself is to be as fluid and formless as water, It cannot be grasped, and it can crash through any defense. Never bet on stability or lasting order. Everything changes. Be the change.